Just on to workplace reforms, that's up this week. We've got about 2.6 million casual employees in Australia. If those casual employees are upgraded to permanent staff, do you believe that business can afford that?
These laws have been introduced off the back of a High Court decision which has made interpretations which were not consistent with the traditional understanding of what casualised labour was and the benefits they've got, which raised the risks that some people were essentially getting double paid for some parts of their salary and their income. And so, of course, what we need is an IR environment where workplaces are flexible, where people can get jobs, because, of course, a lot of people want flexible work. Not everybody. Some people want they want a permanent arrangement. But often you'll find people who want temporary work. It works for businesses, it works for employees, and we want them to be able to get the work versus the alternative, which is not having a job at all.
But business still holds the key here, right? Because if business, as I understand things anyway, you can disagree with this, but if business believes that it's financially unreasonable to be able to upgrade, if you like, casual staff to permanent staff, then they're just not going to do it. So that kind of dovetails into Sally McManus's argument that this will entrench a casualised workforce. So does she have a point in that sense?
Absolutely not. That's precisely why we've introduced in this bill a pathway for business to have confidence and to make sure they're not having to double pay staff because there's been this disruption by the High Court about the terms and conditions of what casual labour is. What we want to do is make it as easy as possible for Australian businesses to employ Australian workers so people have jobs, because that's the foundation of our economic success. And of course, there will be some people who want permanent, ongoing work. There'll be people who want casual work, from students to sometimes mums who, might manage it against, dropping kids off at school, or dads doing exactly the same thing. So everybody's circumstances are different. That's why IR laws should reflect people's life choices.
OK, just finally onto the Foreign Relations Bill, which is expected to pass this week. Do you expect that there may well be some blowback from China this week?
I don't think so. I think in the end, this is not just looking at deals that are done with one country. It's a framework to review treaties and mechanisms from across every country, and that's the basis in which it was introduced.
But do you think that Victoria's Belt and Road Initiative or agreement should be the first on the chopping block?
Well, I've always raised concern about it, and I look forward to Daniel Andrews defending his deal and the basis in which it should be honoured when it's been clear there hasn't been the consultation with the Commonwealth and with Canberra and with the Department, and he's never really answered for that.
Well, just on that, and Labor's saying this morning, and Labor has said on the weekend too, that there needs to be greater consultation between the two major political parties in Australia when it comes to China. What do you say to that?
That's what the Parliament is for. We have discussions and debates on the floor of the House of Representatives and in the Senate on these issues. Now, I'm not going to comment on any private meetings that may or may not occur or should not occur. The main thing is to make sure that both of our major political parties, those that are the choices of government, are ultimately advancing and advocating for Australia's interests. Now, there's division in the Labor Party about China and the Chinese Communist Party. We see that from Joel Fitzgibbon versus Richard Marles versus Penny Wong. And so I think they've got to sort out their own house before they talk about bridging any difference of opinion between the government and the opposition.